Welcome everybody, Farm Sim Snowy here. So we are on Backroads County, which is a new mod map which came out a few days ago, and it's by FSG Modding and FSG Tasman. I did my map tour on it / review, and I discovered a little sort of loophole, hack, whatever you want to call it, in regards to this cow pasture here. Now, I don't think this is obviously meant to be like this. I've left the icons on. As you can see, they're kind of doubled up, all of them. Basically, what has happened is there is two cow pastures been placed down on top of each other. Now, this cow pasture on its own is supposed to only hold 150 cows. So on my map tour, I was kind of intrigued. Can you get round to putting 300 cows in there? The answer is yes, you can, and I proved that in my map tour. I will put a link in the description of this video to that map tour if you guys want to check it out. But what I didn't consider, and some of my subscribers kindly pointed out, is what about feeding them? Feeding, water, and there's also milk you can collect. Are you going to be able to do that if these triggers are pretty much right on top of each other? So again, I was intrigued by this. I did a little bit of testing, and the answer is yes, you can. So technically, you can have 300 cows in here, and you can feed them, water them, and you can collect their milk. Awesome. And I'm going to show you how you can do that. Now, some of it is a little bit fiddly, I will say, especially the milk trigger. That can be a little bit frustrating, but if you want to persevere with it, then that would be absolutely cool. The only thing I would say, well, a couple of things. This roof, particularly this end, is quite low, so I wouldn't be using real big trailers. What I found is, especially with one of the triggers, you kind of need to be here when feeding them, and you need to be right back up against the fence. So if you're using any bigger trailers, you're not going to get back in far enough to activate that trigger. The water is absolutely fine. That pretty much carries on. Once one pasture is completely full, it will carry on and fill the next one. And like I say, the milk trigger is a little bit tricky. I'm going to turn on the help menu for that so that you can see the start filling icon or message come up in the help menu. But yeah, I thought I'd show you how you can do it and how to sort of get around it. I have set up a few things. So we've got the multi-fruit buying station from 82 Studio there, because obviously going to need that for TMR and water, etc. And I've got a sell anything sell station down in case we get any excess items in our trailers or tankers, so we can sell them off and go again. Now, like I say, with smaller equipment, I've actually gone for this little trailer, which is part of the TLX 2020 pack, I believe. That has got like an unreal capacity on it, 82,000 litres, so we're going to be using that for TMR. I did test a couple of trailers and different tankers. The base game Joskin tanker worked with the water. A couple of other trailers worked with the feed, but like I say, I did try to use a bigger trailer and I just couldn't back it in under that shed roof there. So you may have to do a little bit experimenting, find out what actually works for you. And then I've got this guy. This is, I will show you what we've got. I've leased it all. So we've got the TLX pup trailer frame, and then we are using this tanker on it, the X2, because that will connect up. Like I say, you don't have to use this. I'm using these mainly because they've got real high capacities, unrealistic capacities, so to speak, so it doesn't take so long to fill things up. And then we've got this TLX 2020 tippet trailer, which we're going to use for the TMR. So like so. First of all, obviously you will have to buy this plot of land. It is a little bit pricey, but it does come with 4 fields, and they're decent size fields as well. That's 1.4 million just over, but it will show up that cow pasture here You also get a farmhouse, silo, couple of sheds and that. I've got rid of those because I wanted some money in and they're not really relevant to this video. But it's all about this guy. So first of all, I'm going to show you how you can put your 300 cows in here. So if we come up to the animal dialog box. Now, the first lot of cows you probably can or you will be able to use a animal transport trailer and back up as normal. But the second lot of 150 cows, you're not going to be able to do that because it's very fiddly trying to get this trigger up. I don't think you're gonna get it. You may do. I was running around trying to activate it and get it up, but I just couldn't do it. So the easiest way I found to do it is if we click on this, and we're going to be putting in some we'll go for the older ones first. So we'll fill this up. It shouldn't take too long. We're already at 120. There we go. So we've got 150 brown Swiss in that pasture. If we go into our animal menu now, as you can see straight away, it says two cow pastures there. So that is our two. They're on top of each other. Happy days. We've got one with 150 full up. Now what I was trying to say about this trigger, it doesn't matter where you stand. I mean, whether some of you guys have got a little bit more patience than I have, I just could not get that second one to come up, because obviously every time you click on it, it's showing 150 out of 150, because that is the one we've just filled up. So the easiest way to do that now, guys, is to go to your map, hop over to the animal dealer, which is just here. Now again, you do not want to be doing this with a trailer. You need to come here in person, come up to this icon, do the same thing again. Now if you select the wrong one, it will come up like that. So you can see that is the wrong one because it's showing 150/150. So that one is full. So therefore we need number 2. That now says 0/150. So this is the second pasture. This is the one that doesn't have any in. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to put some Holsteins in so we can see the difference obviously in the field, and they will show up in the field as well, both types of animal. So we'll fill that up again, like so. And that is now saying 150 out of 150. If we now go into our animal menu, as you can see, we have got 2 cow pastures now, both with 150 in. So technically we have 300 cows in that pasture. I know it obviously is separate, but you know what I'm trying to say. So now if we hop back over to that area and jump in, as you can see, brown Swiss, and there's our Holsteins. So they are in here. Obviously you're not visually seeing 300 cows, but they are in here. So happy days. And as you can see, I've got my field info on. That is also showing 2 separate cow pastures on the right hand side there. So they're going to need feed, water and milk. So I'm going to jump in this tractor. I will not bore you with all the feeding. What I'll do is I'll get most of the first one topped up, and then I'll bring it back in when that is almost full, so we can do the switch over for the second one. So just come under here, let's go along for TMR. Now I know there probably will be a lot of questions thrown at me about this, bells and things like that. I'm guessing you probably will still be able to use bells, because technically the triggers are both there separately. And like I say, the worst trigger is the milk. So we're going to use this first sort of normal trigger, so to speak. We'll just line up with the actual icon itself. So as you can see, that is very low, that shed. So you just need to be careful about that. This will probably jump around a little bit anyway. There we go. That's okay, we'll leave it like that. We've got a bit of a dancing Massey. And there we go. So that is filled up one, well, not filled it up, but you know, added some. But obviously the Holsteins, they haven't got any. If we come out and we go to the field info, there you can see 82,000 litres. I guess what I could do actually is try and get that second trigger now so you can actually see. So let's grab another load of TMR. Now with the second trigger, what I found is if you're looking at the feed trough from this side, you need to be over to the right, almost in line with the actual end of the feed trough, if that makes sense. I will show you when we get over there. Now obviously at this moment you're not really going to know if you've definitely got the second trigger. The only way you're going to know that, and that's how I found out, is to completely fill the feed trough up. But you might not be able to afford to do that with TMR because it can be quite expensive. But what I'm saying is if you looking at this like that, you almost need to be here with your trailer, but you need to back right in. So let's see if we can get that, because what I did last time is completely maxed out the first pen. So I'm hoping we can get, my reversing skills aren't amazing. And there we go. I'm hoping this is the second pen. We will soon find out. Almost done. Awesome. Happy days. They've both got 82,000 litres of TMR in there. So like I say, if you aim for the actual icon itself, you probably are going to have to turn on the icons so it gives you sort of a rough idea where you need to be aiming. Aim for this one, or in the middle of the trough, and then just to the right, sort of here, you're going to get the second trigger come up, which is fantastic. Right, let's chuck some water in there, and then I think what I'll do is I will fill those up a little bit more, because we're going to skip through a day or a month, because I've got it on 1 days per month, and then we should have some milk, and then I'll go through the trigger for the milk, which like I said is a lot more fiddly than the other two. Now I think this tanker holds something ridiculous in terms of water, so let's grab water. Right, it's almost full. There we go. Now I'm hoping that we've got, I can't remember the capacity for the water of each pasture. I know the TMR, if you've got it full up with cows, is 300,000 litres each. But as for the water, if we have it on there, there's the trigger. Fill that up. I'm hoping that that is going to max out the first pen. Oh look, it's filling them both up. Look, done. And we haven't even moved, guys. So that's how good the water trigger is. There's no moving one way or the other. It literally just fills one up, skips it over. So they are both full up with water now, and we've still got 42,000 litres left. Right, so like I say, just to make sure we're not going to run out of TMR overnight, because obviously we are skipping through a month, I am going to fill them up with a little bit more. I'll get rid of this water so that we're ready for the milk, and I will bring you back in, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get the trigger come up first time. Right then, we are back. We're actually into October, so I skipped through twice. But if we go into the cows, as you can see, the brown Swiss, 22,500 litres of milk, and also exactly the same for the Holsteins. So very cool. I skipped forward twice because I messed up. Mainly because I was recording and I was taking too long to get this trigger. And then obviously it suddenly kicked in, and then I've picked up all the milk and I thought, oh well, that's no good. So that's how fiddly it is. But we're going to see. I'm confident I've definitely got it now. I've had a couple of goes, but we'll see. But like I say, it is very, very fiddly, this trigger. So first of all, I would recommend just pulling forward as normal, like the feed trigger. I've put the help window on so you can see the start filling come up, and there it is. So it should be 22,500 litres in here. There we go, happy days. Now if we go into our animal menu, so it's the Holsteins we've cleared out, and the brown Swiss are still saying 22.5. Now I did try, even when I was practicing before I did the video, I was trying to drive up and down clicking on the stick, because the trigger, you need to kind of be, I found it best to drive sort of into the trees a bit, back up in. We kind of need to be on the angle heading towards that pillar, roughly in between those two posts. So if you were to take that post at the edge of the concrete base and aim for that, that is where I got it the best. So that's where it seems to work best. It did happen once for me when I was driving through, and I think it was probably just because I was on a slight angle. But I did try it quite a few times and it didn't always work. It's very, very frustrating. So let's go into here, and apologies for the trees in the way, but this is the best way to do it in my eyes. So like I say, we're going to head down towards that pillar on the slight angle. And what we want to do is, as soon as you see the start filling trigger come up, like now, you literally just want to pull forward. When it disappears, just keep nudging back until it appears again there. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, that worked for me just a minute ago, a few times. Right, let's try again. Come on, please. I'm doing a video here. Please be kind. There we go. Yes! We've got it. Like I say, that is how fiddly it is. So you can see roughly, if we were to follow the line, we're kind of in that area I said about. So if we jump in there, ooh, there we go. See, that jumped forward for some reason, just slightly out of the trigger, and I quickly tapped the reverse and got back into the trigger and it worked again. So we've completely cleared the cows out of milk. So there you go, it does work. And like I say, that milk trigger is the worst one. If you can persevere with that, happy days. We'll go over it and sell our milk. But I think that is pretty cool. That is a way of having 300 cows in that technically one pasture on this map. We got there in the end. I hope you have stayed with me for that, and I hope some of you found it useful. If you have, please give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos of mine. I've been Farm Sim Snowy. Stay frosty.